As far as the injuries go, really only Marquise is the only one not practicing today. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Ravens, good football team, good players, and good coaches. John does a phenomenal job there, along with Zach, Todd, and Chris in their spots with offense, defense, and special teams. So we know they're well coached. We know they've got good players, and so we go through our preparation this week. Today's the first main day of practice, and we'll start off. So with that, time's yours.
And we've talked a lot about Travis. Just wondering what makes him so effective at his age, and not to say he's in his prime right now, but what still makes him effective the way he is?
Yeah, he can keep himself in good shape. And I also think he's a flexible guy. He's not a real stiff, from a physical standpoint. He's not a stiff player, and he's got good flexibility and good strength.
When you're preparing for a game like this, how much legitimate stuff can you take away from an AFC title game, or is it a little bit of watching a preseason? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they didn't play a whole lot in the preseason. They're main guys, but we know who they are. Again, Orr's coming in, and he's familiar with the whole group, but he's going to do what he does from a defensive standpoint. So that there'll be some changes. I mean, there are going to be changes that take place, and it happens early in the season for the first few weeks, and until it gets kind of settled on what they do best. And so you've got to be flexible on your end, and we'll just see how it goes. But you can definitely take away the primary scheme, or take away from the game the primary scheme.
Andy, what about Kingsley tells you he's ready for what he's going to see Thursday night?
Yeah, well, he had a good training camp. He had good preseason, but it's going to be a learning experience for him here. This is a good defensive line, and I'm sure there'll be some ups and downs as he goes, like any young player has, but he's prepared himself, and it's time to go play now.
Andy, Lamar's a unique quarterback. In the past, you've had Chris, who's pretty athletic. If you kind of mimic him, do you use Bailey? Do you use somebody else to kind of mimic him?
Yeah, Bailey can do that. We've always mixed guys in there when we've had a chance to play them. There's some other guys that can jump in, but we have a little plan for it. Not that any of them are that as good as him. Chris included. I mean, Chris did a nice job, but this kid, he's a special player, so it's very hard to mimic him.
What did you like about Bailey bringing him in?
Yeah, I thought good player. He on the practice squad, you're saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we liked him in college. We liked what he showed us. You saw him in the last game there, and he did a nice job with that. So we think down the road he'll help us there.
And entering year 2 for Rasheed, where do you feel like you saw the most growth from him from the start of the off-season program to where you guys are now?
Yeah, I think it was a couple things. I think the conditioning part of it, and how much you've got to play and how fast you have to play every play. That was one. I thought his feel for space was another. And then just the experience part of playing, period. By the end of the season, he could roll now. And he had a great feel of what Patrick was looking for, what the coaches were looking for, and was able to execute that and play fast with with his skill set that he's been blessed with. Yeah.
How much does someone like Justin Watson become when you don't have Hollywood Brown? The first game could be 2 games, whatever it is.
Yeah, Justin's always kind of been a big part of it silently. He doesn't say much, and he doesn't get a lot of pub, but he's always been a pretty big part of what we do. That part won't change. He'll be in there, running around. And even when Hollywood comes back, he'll be in there running around. So he's a smart kid that's skilled and loves to play the game, plays hard. every snap, practice, games.
Andy, nothing's changed with Samaje as far as you anticipate he'll be available on Thursday if you want to use him.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think we'll be okay there.
Last couple will go Blair and then Nick. Go Blair.
Andy, Patrick is poised to pass Len Dawson on a couple of career lists coming in, certainly on the next game and then down the road a little bit. What does it say about just the nature of the game, how much things have changed when Patrick's played about half of the career that Len Dawson had?
Yeah, it's a little bit different game now with the passing the way it is. But he has so much respect for Len before Len passed, and they had a relationship there. They talked, and the game's it's a little different. There's just a little bit more passing that goes on now at the college, at all levels really. You start at the little kids level and on up through high school and college, and the ball's being thrown more. So. But it's it's a compliment to Pat because he does it the right way. He handles it the right way, and as great as he is, he's a humble guy and respects the things that happened before him. He gets it.
Nick.
Andy, other than holding on to the football like you talked about on Monday, what do you want to see from your team in this first game?
Yeah, the obvious is execution. This is a team that's a physical football team, so you've got to add that element into it. And they're good. They've played together, so they're good. They're going to test your ability to execute on both sides of the ball and special teams. So it's important that we take care of business here these few days that we have to prepare, and you've got to do that the right way. But that would be it, along with part of execution is hanging on the football. So.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, good. Thanks.